Welcome to the Money, Mindset and Miracles podcast, helping you to grow predictable and scalable months of income from your business as gracefully as possible. I'm Rachel Smith, business coach, mindset expert, speaker and the founder of the 5K Club. Welcome to this week's episode where I'm going to explain exactly how you can 10x your money mindset. Your money mindset is so important when you are looking to scale your business and step into earning more money. This work is so deeply transformational and it's going to allow you to step into earning more money and to make it just feel easier and easier. So any of those sabotaging activities or those things that crop up and get in your way will become less of a challenge. So let's get into today's episode. I can honestly say that the times in my business when there's been a dip, when I've actually checked in with that, there's been a key thing that's occurred there. And that is that I have stopped focusing on money mindset and I've stopped working on my mindset. And what occurs is that, we all have a neurological pathway about life and about the things that we do on a daily basis in our businesses that have got us to this part. And there'll be things that you don't do, and there'll be things that you resist, and there'll be things that feel like a big challenge and a leap too far for you. And that's all down to what's going on internally on an unconscious level. And this is why this work is transformational, because we get to do this deep work. We get to change those neurological pathways to the pathways that support your dreams, that support your goals and make it possible. And such an important element there is that it allows you to step into an even bigger vision, an even bigger version of what you want your business to look like, who you want to work with, the amount of money that you want to generate. And it also allows you to really step into owning that and becoming comfortable with that as well. How you feel about money is essential, is absolutely essential. And I want for you to start to think about your own mindset and your own belief system about money. And one of the fastest ways for you to figure out what your current money mindset is reflected in your current income. So if you have an income that is growing, if you have an income that is achieving your income targets or is exceeding your income targets or is getting you really close to your income targets, it is likely that your money mindset is pretty robust and perhaps you've already done some work on it. If, however, your current income isn't reflecting any of those things, if actually you spend a lot of time worrying about your income, worrying about where your next client's coming from, feeling undervalued for the amount of money that you're going out there and charging at the moment, if you have those kind of negative worries that are going on for you at the moment, and this isn't like a shame fest, because I can honestly, hand on heart, and I'll be sharing a little bit more about my personal story in a little while, but these are all things that I have experienced, and I really want to give you the shortcuts through kind of my pain, so that you don't experience that. And one of the things that we don't really think about, but is essential, is that when you're moving toward, when you've got some goals, so let's say you're currently earning 1 to 2K every month, or 3 to 4K every single month, but you have a goal, you want to be making 5K every month, or even 10K every month, or some other figure. And every single income goal is personal to every single person. But in order for you to achieve that growth, in order for you to move towards that, in the very first instance, you have to ensure that your internal belief system about everything, about yourself, about your ability to make more money,
all of your internal belief system has to be in alignment with your vision and your goals. So I just want for you to sit with that for a minute. What we find is that we're so busy in the doing that we forget about our mindset. And it can feel as if we're pushing at like an invisible wall, and we don't understand what's going on at that point. We're doing everything that we think we should be doing, but nothing's really changing, and your results are not changing either. And that is because there are some deep-rooted beliefs that just need to be understood, and that word I use, released. And you want to be in that magic of believing, not just on a superficial level, but believing that you can achieve £10,000 every single month. And you want to be in that energy of trusting that it's going to happen, and not questioning it and not questioning your own ability, and being aware that you might step into sabotage or feeling inferior. And it's eradicating the negative and stepping into that energy and coming from that energy. So you're not worrying about you want 2K, but you're stepping into owning, right, this is my new income goal. And I am in alignment with that because I absolutely understand why this is my goal, and I absolutely own that. And I am going to work on myself, and I am going to absolutely embrace releasing anything that's stopping me. And I'm just going to step into this frequency. And every day that you come to your business, you have this frequency, you have this excitement, you have this possibility. And that is a completely different frequency to turning up, coming into your business and thinking, right, what do I do next? And worrying and maybe doing something and not achieving the results that you want, and then deciding to do something else instead. And it's that energy that we want you to be embracing, because when you do that, everything changes. And let's just pull that back a little bit about why this is important, why that frequency is important. And everything around us is an energetic frequency, isn't it? So I'm an energetic frequency. My phone is an energetic frequency. My water bottle is an energetic frequency. They're all giving out an energetic frequency. So when you're stuck in the negative or the worry, you are sending out that energy. So even if you go to a networking event, even if you send out a sales email, even if you speak to somebody about working with you, they will be able to feel that it's not, your energy level isn't quite in alignment with maybe your content or your offer, something like that. And we want to be radiating at a higher income frequency before we've achieved it. And so many people think they're going to wait until they've got to this point to work on this or invest in that or go live or run a masterclass, because they get caught up in the negative. And you want to be just making a decision like, this is the decision I'm in to work on achieving this amount of money. And when I've achieved this amount of money, I understand that I will be feeling like this. And this is the feeling and this is the frequency that I'm choosing to step into now. Because when you choose to feel differently, the biggest shift is that when you feel different, you think differently. And when you think differently, your action taking is going to be different. And that's the shift. Those three things together, how you feel, how you think, all kind of build up to you taking different action in your business. Bigger action, bolder action, riskier action. And this is the bit, this is the magic. So it's not about keeping your fingers crossed, doing some visualizations and thinking, I've done the mindset work, so the money's just going to land in my bank. It's about mixing those three up. It's about changing how you feel at a deep-rooted level. It's about changing how you think about money, changing how you think about your ability to make money. And the third one is Well, it's exciting because then you get to take different action. And one of the podcasts that I listened to recently was by Amy Porterfield, and she has this expression where if something isn't working in your business, if you're kind of stuck in a cycle and something isn't working in your business, she has this thing she calls it DSDT, and she calls it do something different today. But in order to do that, you have to have your energy kind of anchored in. You have to have that kind of belief anchored in, because that's what's going to give you the confidence to do that, to do something different today. And that's how people like Amy Porterfield, who's a multimillionaire, has shifted through challenges, has shifted through income barriers. You will hear people like myself, like other money mindset experts like Denise Duffield Thomas, talk about your money story. It's important, especially for women. We weren't allowed bank accounts until the early 70s. If you were a woman earning money before then, the bank account was either in your husband's name or your father's name. It couldn't be in your name. So even if you were going out there and working, you weren't allowed to have a bank account with your name on or access to your own money. And that was in the 70s. And you only have to look down our generational line to see the sort of money stories, boundaries, limitations that women had. That's why your relationship with money can feel tricky. And it can feel as if, oh, well, I've done a bit of this, that, and the other, and it hasn't really worked. It's because it's deep-rooted. So when we come to run our business, the biggest mistake women make is this, which sounds a bit mad, but we ignore money because it's not always been something that we have been educated in. Money hasn't always been women's responsibility. Again, looking down the generational line. And we can ignore money because it can just feel wrong. Maybe your money story is telling you things like it's only greedy people want more money, or money doesn't grow on trees, or that women aren't the main breadwinners in their families, or that you can't have more than your partner because that would cause some upsets. Or it's not safe for you to have money. That was a big one for me, that it's not safe for me to have more money because people would treat me differently, that it would upset people in the family. And that is actually something that happened and that I've had to deal with. But, and that's their money story. It didn't have to be my money story. But as female entrepreneurs, we often ignore money. And if you are saying yes to any of these, again, let's keep it light, because it's about accepting and acknowledging that actually this is something that has been learned behaviour, that's been passed down. And it's been passed down because of the way the world was and because of the way that society was. But female entrepreneurs often don't ask for the sale. So you might get on a sales call, it's a no, it's a maybe, but there's no follow-up. So you don't ask for the sale. Or you talk to somebody and they go, oh my God, that sounds amazing, but you don't make an offer. Or you undervalue yourself. So maybe I've worked with clients before who are reflexologists, and there's a real belief in the reflexology world that this is the amount of money that you can earn from reflexology. And again, I've worked with clients who have, for the last 20 years, maybe been charging £20 an hour or £50 an hour. And this really comes from that kind of undervaluing the skills that you have, the expertise that you have. We focus on the masculine energy. Now, we need the masculine and the feminine energy. And the two differences are is that the masculine energy is the energy of action taking, of hustle, and of getting things done. The feminine energy is the energy of receiving. And we need to marry those two up. And certainly part of my story has been about really stepping into that masculine, really believing that the only way that I could grow my business, the only way that I could get more clients is actually by working harder. We also think really small because of our money story, and we resist this work that we're talking about tonight. And that's all down to, our money stories. That's all down to our limiting beliefs around money. But do you know what? We're here to change that, aren't we? So let me just share a little bit about my story, because I think it's really relevant, because it touches on so many points. And I also wanted to be completely vulnerable and share this with you, because there's a good ending at the end. So basically, I started my business and I got to 2016, and I was working really hard. I was getting my clients in, I was making money was coming in, clients were coming in, I was loving the work, I had all that freedom and flexibility that everybody talks about. My youngest would have been 6 at the time, so she was at school. So I had, really short working days. And and I had the school holidays off. It was all really, really good. But the reality was something else. So all of that was fine until you actually looked at the money that I was generating in my business, and in particular, the money that I was able to use in my business to live the life that I wanted to. And what I discovered when I finally invested in looking at this work is that, I've always had a pattern of being brilliant at making money. But as soon as the money came in, I would find ways, I'd invest in something, I would spend something on something, or there'd be some sort of bill. But I would find ways of unconsciously repelling money. And it meant that every single month, I went back to zero. So that, it didn't matter how much money I'd made in the previous month, every single month I would start back at zero. And this carried on for a little while until I committed to this work. And I invested in working with coaches and investing in the tools and the training that was going to help me to change that generational money story that I had running through my life. And it helped me to triple my income within 10 months. And actually, nowadays, if I was going to apply everything that I know now, I could probably flatten those timelines so much faster as well. But this was 2016. And for the first time, 2 things happened. I created profit in my business and I paid myself. So obviously, I now include all of this work in the work that I do with my clients. I've created a 5-step process that my clients and I follow every single month for setting and therefore achieving our income goals. And it's also recognizing something that's really important, is that actually this isn't like you read a book or you listen to some content and you complete the work and you're done. This work happens, like the level of like going back to your limiting beliefs happens every time you hit an income goal and you're ready for that next stage up. You have to clear the way. You have to clear anything that's holding you back, that's showing up as sabotage, that's like keeping you from playing at that higher level. And this is continuous work. And this is what allows you to keep stepping into that new frequency.
So in summary, from all of that chat is a couple of key things I want for you to take away from that. First of all, your money story is important. If you haven't done this work previously or for a long time, I really want to invite you to sit down and think about your earliest memories around money when you were growing up. And just keep looking at that, peel it back, think about how that has a negative consequence on how you currently feel about money. And the second one is about how you can release anything that comes out of that first exercise that will help you to step into a new money frequency. I have 2 resources for you that are going to help you with this. The first one is my wealth hypnosis. So something I've spoken about a lot on this podcast is a hypnosis that has been specifically recorded for women who are ready to step into that new wealth frequency. That's completely free. I'll leave the links down below in the show notes. Go and sign up for that if you haven't. If you've already got it on your hard drive somewhere, go listen to it. because it's amazing. The second one is a former episode of the podcast. I think it's episode 23, but again, I will confirm that down the show notes. This is an income activation meditation and is completely brilliant at helping you to release any old stories and for you to step into that new frequency so that you can make more money. So as ever, I would love to hear back from you. What resonated for you in today's episode? What are you going to take action on? What was the outcome? So please come and let me know. Either drop me a comment below or drop me an email. I always love to see those popping into my inbox. And the final request is, if you haven't already subscribed to this podcast or left a review, I would massively appreciate you doing that. It helps other people to decide if this is content that's worth listening to. So as always, I'm going to sign off by wishing you lots of love. Thank you for listening, and I can't wait to speak to you again soon. Bye for now.